Tyson Fury has been warned that his cut will reopen against Alexander Usyk by a cuts woman called Sammy Morris. Morris, who's been doing cuts for 10 years, said if he did that 5 years ago against Otto Wallin and the wound has come open again 5 years later in the exact same place, then it hasn't healed properly. And now it's a double wound site. He's been cut again in the same place. It just goes to show that after 5 years, it hasn't knitted back together. Even by coming back after 100 days, which is the basic recommendation of when you should fight again after a cut is meant to have healed, he runs the risk of it reopening against Usyk. With age, your skin loses elasticity and the collagen underneath it, so it becomes much easier for you to get cut. Fury is 35 years old now, and it's going to take him almost double the time to heal as someone that's 20 years old. So it will cause him problems, and I personally think it will come open in his next fight. And as a fighter, he will be very aware of that. Hopefully he doesn't panic too much about it and he protects his eye, because the first thing Usyk is going to want to do is come out and land a shot on that eye. Fury usually carries his hands very low and showboats. I don't think we'll see any of that. I think he'll have a very tight guard because he needs to protect that eye at all times. So those are the words of cuts woman Sammy Morris. So she gave an interesting take there at the end. This idea that Tyson Fury will fight with his hands uncharacteristically high to protect the cut. Personally, I don't think Tyson Fury will fight with his hands high unless he's coming forward applying all-out pressure, like he did against Steve Cunningham. When he's boxing at long range, which I think he will do at points in this fight, assuming it goes ahead, I think he'll be fighting in his usual style, with the left hand dangling down. I don't think Tyson Fury would want to compromise his normal approach, which has worked so well for him over the years, just because he's scared of the cut reopening. Tyson Fury doesn't strike me as that kind of character. So when he's at long range, I'm expecting the left hand to be dangling down as normal. I mean, it's slightly higher under Sugar Hill. He kind of fences with the left hand a little bit, almost like an old Soviet-style upright boxer would. But we saw in the Ngannou fight that he will dangle that left hand a lot of the time still. And as I say, I'm expecting that again against Alexander Usyk. If you go into the ring primarily focused on what your opponent might do to you, then you're going to miss opportunities to do damage to your opponent. And similarly, I don't think Alexander Usyk is going to be too focused on landing a punch on Tyson Fury's damaged eye. I don't think he's going to go out there looking for it. If an opportunity presents itself for him to hit the eye, yeah, he's going to take it. But I don't think he's going to be focusing on that, again, at the expense of missing other opportunities. That eye could become a distraction for Alexander Usyk if he looks for it too much. He could be missing opportunities to land body shots, right hooks, his right jab, so on and so forth. He could also be distracted from looking out for Tyson Fury's offense. I don't think it will be a core main part of Alexander Usyk's strategy to target Tyson Fury's cut eye. I could be wrong. There have been fights in the past where one of the participants has gone in there looking to exploit their opponent's injury. An example that springs to mind would be when Lennox Lewis fought Gary Mason back in the days. Gary Mason had trouble with one of his eyes, and Lennox Lewis and his trainer formulated a game plan that involved targeting that eye. They actually put an X using tape on the headgear of Lennox Lewis's sparring partners right next to their eye and got him to focus his jabs on that X, such that in the actual fight against Gary Mason, his left jab would zero in on his eye. And indeed it did. It worked to treat Gary Mason's eye swole up terribly, and he suffered a detached retina. So again, it's possible that Usyk could try and do something like that in this fight here with Fury, but I suspect he won't. And as I said at the start, I suspect that Tyson Fury won't go in there worried about getting hit on the eye to the extent that he changes his normal boxing stance. Now, if the cut does reopen during the fight, then yeah, he may bring his hands up to protect it more. But up until that happens, no, I think Tyson Fury's going to box the way he normally boxes. Unless he decides to come forward as he did against Steve Cunningham. In that instance, yeah, he'll have his hands up. I mean, he wasn't cut against Cunningham and he had his hands up. That's the way he likes to fight when he's walking somebody down. Although against Deontay Wilder and against Otto Wallin, he adjusted his guard a little bit when he was on the front foot. He was almost Joe Frazier-esque. Obviously not as neat and tidy as that, but something similar. Tyson Fury was kind of tucking up with his right arm across his body, right glove rested on his left cheek, and his left arm rested across that, almost making like an X across his chest. And he had his chin down and he was kind of trying to bob and weave a little bit as he came in. So yeah, if he's applying pressure, we'll either see that or we'll see him with the earmuffs on like he was against Steve Cunningham. But again, when he's at long range, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting hands down, showboating, shouting at Usyk, trying to goad him in, all that type of stuff, trying to throw him off his game. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.